Alrighty, we are live. Oh, very bright. Alright, we have some people to join the live on TikTok. My brightness up on my phone, I can't see nothing. Alrighty, hey Lamont. Alright, we can get started. We're just gonna let's go over my live trade. Today we had terrible price action. So on the 4 hour, we had a lovely candle out of this fair value gap, 4 hour fair value gap. So I got in buys right at 10 o'clock. On the 5 minute, because I was on the 5 minute, we got an inverse fair value gap. We got a market structure shift, changes to delivery, all that. Came in. We also have fair value gap here on the way up. That once we inverse, I sold my trade for a smaller loss. It was all the way down here for a second. It was lost. And then my dumbass on live took another trade here once we kind of inverse this fair value gap on the 5 minute, but that's a 4 hour gap. You have to wait for the 4 hour to close below it. And we just traded shitty the rest of the day. So I'm going back to trading on the 15-minute chart, and I'm done trading live. Sorry, guys. I need to focus on like making money and not being distracted with. I don't even know if Luke is in this live because Luke was all talking about buys from here. He was still wrong. Like we traded sideways for so long, and then in the afternoon we went up a little bit if you wanted it, but we didn't even take out liquidity at all yet. Still. So it's like just not good price action. So today we're gonna backtest 15-minute chart. 4 hour chart for where it wants to go. As you see, the 4 hour candle, it was the biggest candle of the day, but it was not decisive by any means. So I knew some people though were gonna take the inverse fair value gap here off of this green one that I have marked. Once we candle close below here, I knew some people were gonna take the short from here, because that's how a lot of the gurus trade now, because they have a lot of money. They trade short trades. That's how Lewis YT and Dodgy GD trades. That's why I got on my trade, because I had a feeling we were going to at least sweep this. That was my stop loss. And honestly, I'm not mad at that setup. I'm mad at taking that stupid second trade, because we got a nice wick out of the gap. That's not as good of a hammer, and we inversed, and we waited for like the candle close, market structure shift. But then I was like, this could be a liquidity sweep, which it wound up being. So honestly, inverse of this gap would have been a nicer entry actually. But like I said, I did not think we were going down. Like I said, there's just not a move to me that I want to take. That's just not a move I want to take. I like taking the big move of the day. And if this is gonna be like this all day, I'm not gonna trade it. That's how I feel now. Boom. That's how I'm going about my trading journey. Now, some people, again, on the 1 minute are taking these. I know someone tried to take a sell here. IG trades. This isn't a bad trade, though. This liquidity sweep. Because this was not news, though, but it gave, like, a news candle. And that's why I called that it might be, like, a data. Like, that's how Dodgy's GG trades. He trades, like, data news, high and low. And when it sweeps one side, he takes it to the other. Sweeps the other, if it came here first, he would take it. And it did look like a news candle, so that's why I said, okay, let's cut our losses. Or I should have waited to enter my buys here and then had a shorter stop loss. Either way, the move out of this 4 hour fair value gap trumped for me this sell trade. That's why 4 hour fair value gap. So I thought the 4 hours was going to open and we were going to push. We did not. So that's what we're going to keep backtesting today. I now only want to execute on the 15 minute. This is what I was doing. I've been backtesting all day. Look how good and clean it was. We came out of this 4 hour fair value gap. Now you just need a gap to inverse or enter off of on the 15 minute. We got an inverse, boom, right at 10 o'clock, sells. This was the equal lows from the 15 minute, but obviously on the 4 hour, there is no liquidity target until down here. So you could have held, boom. Let's see how often we catch these now. Next New York session. Yeah, price action has been shitty. The last only 2 days. Thursday was great, Wednesday was great, Monday, Tuesday was great. Even though everyone was complaining about price action on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I was like, this shit is cooking. We're cooking with grease. This is a bearish one. I mark mine bearish and bullish. I don't use one color for my gaps. We're still out of that gap. That was the trade I just showed y'all for previous day. It looks like we still want to go down, maybe. Let's see what the 9:30 candle does. Let's mark. There is a gap here to inverse. Technically, there's a bunch of gaps here that it could bounce off of, but let's just see. Let's just play it out and see what happens. Boom. All right, we got a nice internal liquidity sweep. We did inverse this gap if you want to mark it. For sells, let's see. I'll get back into marking up where I would take a trade at. Or there's liquidity here if you want it. For 1 to 2, not get greedy, but they're pretty close. Let's see if we get it. There's no gap on the 4-hour to reverse from, but there are a few 15-minute ones that can bounce from that we could be wrong about. Let's see. Okay, this is the day we lost. We're wrong. Okay. Why number, I actually see. We did not inverse that gap. That's the thing about replay too. In real time, you would wait for this candle to close. None of these candles closed below the gap actually. It was just looking like it was, but we haven't fully played out the 15-minute candle on replay. So technically, I would not take this trade. I wait for candle closes all the time. Now I don't not wait for candle closes anymore. I know that used to be a problem of mine. And then we bounce out of the gap. So out of the top of this candle, I would have entered, but there's highs right here. Let's see if we take them. That's why you wait for, there you go, boom. That's the trade. And that's why I'm backtesting. I don't really mark up anymore. I'm gonna do it tonight though, but like you learn your mistakes. We're not here to take shitty trades. We're here to learn what to do better. So all you need for trading is fair value gaps, liquidity. It's gonna either bounce off one, respect it up here, or this 4-hour one, we bounced off of it, or it's going to invert it and then go to a liquidity on the downside. That's all it's gonna do, in my opinion. This is how I trade. You don't have to trade like this. This is not supply and demand. These are gaps. I know people like to try supply and demand. I do not. I know supply and demand, they do the colors. Most ICT traders don't. Their fair value gaps are all one color. But to me, I like to mark them so you know what move you should expect off of them. So this is why you wait. 10 o'clock, you wait for a confirmation and you draw a gap. Because if you didn't draw the gap, you might have been confident in sales. Without this gap, if you just looked at the chart, you would have been like, oh, we're going down. We came out of a 4-hour gap, we're going down. But I like to add a 15-minute gap just in case. Just in case. We already came down once this day. So once it already respects it once with a big move, you might not expect it again. Even this one, it's kind of small. It's kind of small here. Still a good move for us, but this is why, prime example, you always wait for candle closes, not a wick. Candle close for a market structure shift, candle close for a change in state delivery, candle close in and out of fair value gaps, whether it's inverted or regular respected. Don't just get in. That's why I don't set limit orders anymore. I don't wait, just set a limit order for a buy here, or I'll wait. Even though, yeah, if you were confident in your buys, then you had a nice, better entry, but that's how you lose more, in my opinion. Just be reactive. You still got a good 2 to almost a 1 to 3 reward almost. So, do your thing. Next New York session. We have these jumpy ass gaps here. This is technically a bearish one. Then you have a big ass one on the 15-minute. And you do have a tiny. This is the one we kind of bounced off of yesterday. So I just mark my gaps on the 4-hour, mark 10 a.m., and then I mark some targets for if I take sells, where do I want to sell at? I mean, Jesus, this is a big rundown, so I don't know if we're going all the way down there. So then I like to mark a gap that if we bounce off of on the 15-minute chart. Then we already have a gap up here, and liquidity here, which I don't really like either, and then obviously way up here. And then you just let it play out for you, and you see. And then if you're really confident in your sells, you can try to find a gap in here to inverse, like this one if you want it. Candle close below. Take it to this line at least. It's probably gonna go there for sure. Boom, called it. See? Inverse value gap, that's it. Obviously we get on at 10 o'clock, so now we're waiting for a bounce out or inverse of this this gap on the 15 minute. But if you're a 9:30 trader, that's a nice trade. If I get on at 9:55. So no, I would not have gotten in this trade. If this happened like right here, I might have taken it. But like I said, inverse value gap, boom, down. See? Easy. Easy peasy. And then do we get a bounce off or a candle close below? And then we might go all the way down to those lows if we inverse this gap. This is why the 15-minute chart. You get bigger moves, less fake outs. Boom. 10 o'clock in there. I mean, sometimes it will fully candle close on 15-minute and then reverse on your ass. This is some nice displacement though, I'm not gonna lie. But for learning purposes, let's just not take the trade and see. See now, when there's two gaps together, I honestly need to stop marking this one. The second one is always the like if you're going lower, the lower gap. If you're going higher, the higher gap. If that makes sense. This is the gap our 10 a.m. traders are taking our reversal off of. First candle close out of the gap. There it is. But then again, is it going to reverse from this fair value gap to go lower? No. Or this, it came up to this one. That's still a good move though. That's still a good trade. Let's see. You know, I used to only trade these 10 a.m. reversals, and I would have took it just to the top of this gap. This is the gap made at 9:30. $1 to 2.5, great trade. Now, you might get a bounce off that back to the downside to this low. Like I said, I trade reactionaries. I don't just wait for stuff to come back. Sometimes stuff doesn't come back, it leaves you. But if you're waiting for it to come back to this gap, let's see if it keeps going lower for you. That would be nice. Hold on, let's see. We're almost at the end of the day. So, no. I mean, it's still a decent down move, but our move is a little better. And you can take it to the 50% of the gap if you want. Yeah, this is... If it goes higher, this is still our trade, our buy trade. It didn't stop us out. This is people holding our buy trade. I was going to see if it reversed for you guys. But, it doesn't seem to want to. And I think this is... Still not the end of the day. I don't hold my trades this long, so it doesn't even matter. But for those people who want to hold their buy trade, so like up here, you got almost 1 to 4, but there's no liquidity target for you to even hold it that long. I usually will do the whole gap on a 15-minute and above. The 5-minute, I wouldn't. The 5-minute, if I'm targeting it for every gap, I do the bottom, but 15, 30 an hour, it usually fills the gap. But I would have, as soon as I saw this wick, I would have sold anyway. Because soon the wicks like that, it could easily have reversed. But 10 a.m. reversal, good trade. 9:30 traders had a better trade this day, and that's fine. Good moves, great, solid moves here. That's it. You don't wait for a gap, but you just, it'll tell you. And that's what this 4 hour is over here to show you too. Like once you got this little push out of this gap, you could have waited on the 4 hour if you wanted to, and then got in the trade. Where is this at? Or even somewhere down here. Yeah, well, yeah. Once you start pushing out the gap on the 4 hour, like see how this candle looks. This is what I thought was gonna happen today, and we got an extra little push. We did not, but it is what it is. In this candle, see if you were to just went straight for sells. Like as soon as at 10 o'clock you got in sells, it reversed immediately, unless you just took this candle here, which is fine. That's what you want. That's literally my 15-minute. You could just trade one of these long candles and be fine. I like a little more. I like at least two or three 15-minute candles in my repertoire, but to each their own. Like I said, if you make money, Ymir University just said that. He was like, you don't have to wait for you to hit your stop loss in the beginning when you trade with real money, because have you ever cashed out $500 a day before? If you have $500, whether it's your TP or not, cash that shit. That's a good amount of money. And he's kind of right. 4-hour gap. Can't tell what we're doing off of it, so we'll see if we reverse off of it. There's a low here that we're already close to. There's a low here. And then on the upside, there's all these gaps. For some reason, all these gaps in the Labor Day weekend. That makes sense. I was like, what's happening? Labor Day, and then liquidity is just swing highs and swing lows, especially in the 4-hour. That's the good thing about higher time frames. The price action is very like swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, gap, clear. It's not as sometimes chaotic as the lower time frames. Like there's like 3 gaps in here. Like which gap is it gonna hit? Who knows? But at least in the 4-hour, they're spaced out and they make sense. So mark your 10 o'clock. I don't trade at 9:30. Y'all be getting cooked at 9:30. Alrighty. Now it's almost 10 a.m. So let's see if we get an inverse or a respect. Respect. Okay. Still not 10 o'clock. Okay, that is a decent candle, but didn't close yet. Okay, that's an indecisive red candle, so I would wait for another candle, in my opinion. And it didn't candle close out of the gap. It candle closed right in the gap by like a tick. So I wait. Okay, now once I start to see this push, I probably would have gotten somewhere in here. This is one of those times where you might have to go to the 5-minute and wait for a simpler candle close like that one. And then you can get in here if you want it. Stop loss. Above. There is equal lows right here for 1 to 2.3, and then there's a 3 to 3 there. I kind of want to wait for inverse for value gap. I'm still not super sure about this, because we're not really out of this gap. That's not a gap, that's the gap. We're not really out of it on the, I mean, we're kind of out of it on the 4-hour. I mean, let's see. This is a 4-hour candle low right here too, actually. Sometimes if you're not sure it's going to go down, you could just take it to the candle, the 4-hour candle low. And see why, if you're not sure, don't take the trade. In real life, I would not have done that. If I'm not sure, I don't take a trade, but for back testing purposes, we'll see. You see what I'm saying? It just wasn't a clear move out of it for me to take that trade. I don't know how I know that. Maybe just experience. I can't really explain to you, but you can just tell when some trades are just not sure they want to go down, and you'd rather wait for a full inverse for value gap. Like now, this one is an inverse for value gap. And that is a trade if you want it. Candle close above, take it to the next one. That's not that great risk reward though, so I probably would take that either 1 to 1.6, unless you move your stop loss kind of tight. You can get 1 to 3, but ooh, but it might keep going higher for you. I don't know, and not. So. Let's see. Yeah, that's news, whatever that was. 2 o'clock. I mean, you're still in the trade. If you, oh no, this stopped you out here. My original stop loss was at the body, so I've been stopped out. And if I had it to the wick, then you have to go super high for a 1 to 2, which is kind of high, but you might get it. You might be waiting for a long time. But if you want it, you might get it. And you do. So technically you can have a big stop loss because you got a big reward. which is what you should do. Stop losses should always be the low, the swing low before your entry. So, I mean, I wouldn't hold a trade till news, but it worked out for you that day. It's probably FOMC too. FOMC usually goes up like 90% of the time. So yeah, that's a good trade if you wanted it. But you see why, like, if you're just not sure, I don't know how you can tell. I wish I could explain it. But for me, I would have liked the inverse for value gap. Like, all these candles not leaving a gap in here, I think is what made me a little indecisive. And then, like I said, what's a 15-minute candle look like? See, it looked red at the time, and then it closed green. So that's why I say wait for candles to close. Because yes, it might look like it was going to run down to our TP already, but we had a second one. If it did, it wound up closing green, and you could have got in right at that 15-minute. Candle close below the low, and take it for your 1 to 2. What you hit, That's why I say I'm about to start only trading on the 15-minute. That day I would have gotten faked out, but I would have went to the 5-minute and saw, like, I don't want to take that, like I said. But I should have stayed on the 15-minute. Prime example, I'm trying to trade only on the 15-minute now, y'all. I'm not even trying to, for real, go to the 5-minute. This is what I'm trying to do. If it runs a lot and I get a late entry, then I'll just have to take a little scalpiano and just be okay with it. But usually it still lets you in decently and gives you a nice move afterwards. So yeah, prime example. But I don't know how I can explain how that 5-minute did not look good to me, but I think I did. I think it's just the candle's there's no gap to inverse. So I was going to wait for a candle close below here to get in the trade. This little red candle, not the greatest. But yeah, stay on the 15-minute. Follow your rules. I need to write that down too. My new rule, only trade in the 15-minute chart. Okay, let's go to the next one. There is no easy way of trading. I agree and disagree. Trading is hard, but you can simplify it. You really can. And to me, it's just gaps and liquidity. Now, yes, emotions, and there's so many other things that make trading hard. I agree. Trading is very hard, but a lot of people will tell you once you start learning how to be profitable, it's fairly simple. The hard part is yourself. Are you a patient person? Are you going to follow your own rules? Can you hold yourself accountable? That's really the hardest part. Like today, I took a fucking second trade. Like, don't piss me off. But also, I'm like a big person of speaking power into things. So if you think it's going to be hard, it is, but you have to say something's going to be simple for yourself. Like, because when you say things are hard, which they are, they're always going to feel hard and be hard. For me, once I learned ICT, it was honestly easy. Like, once I learned what a fair value gap was and liquidity, I was cooking with grease. And then obviously different price action on the chart is what made it hard. You don't use the 1 minute? Hell no. 1 minute, you'll get faked out so much. Ankles broke as fuck on the 1 minute. I used to use the 1 minute. It was good. I started being profitable, but in all markets, you'll just get faked out. And there's so many mini market structure shifts and mini inverted for value gaps, and just there's so much shit on it. I like to trade the 4 hour and the 15-minute. Alrighty, what do we got here? Okay, at this point, we might as well just wait for liquidity and a reversal is what it's giving. It's already too close. We're already in a big ass gap. Let's just wait for. Was there a contract change at open? Yes, we're in December contracts. Actually, thank you for saying that. We are in December contracts. I was trading off this one today, the September one still, but my Ninja Trader updated for me. Like, as soon as I logged in Ninja Trader, it was like, we're in new contracts. And what are these lines on here for? So yeah, we are in December contracts. If you do quarterly like most of us do, you can do some contracts monthly. Besides, don't piss me off. There's a few you can't do. There's like 11 contract letters, not 12, like 10 or something. All right, boom, we're in December. I tried to do December on September 1st, and the candles are not even showing up all the way. I'm actually glad you said that. Thank you. Thank you for that. There was a contract change. All right, let's mark 10 o'clock. But no, I don't trade the 1 minute. I actually don't like trading the 5 minute anymore either. Oh, I didn't do next New York session. This was the trade we just took. Because I get faked on the 5 minute too. I like trading the 15 or the 30 and or getting on, yeah, I like trading like the 15 and 30 minute and then going on the 5 if I want like a really nice entry or the 15 is not giving me anything. Alrighty, well, we're not getting anything on this 4 hour chart right now, so let's just see what happens. We have a gap here we can come out of. And then we have a bunch of, points to target on the downside. I think that one's the best. And there's one here. Yeah. Let's just see. And on the buy side, we have here and here. And then let's just see where it goes. Let's just see. There's a 15-minute gap. There's a bunch. If you want to wait for an inverse, like... Well, so this is a higher time frame gap, this red one. So it's already, if we close above it, we're in buy. So we don't need to draw another one that's above it. That's going to be a later entry. But let's see if there's a bullish one. I mean, there's technically one here we're about to inverse for sells. Or you can wait for this one for sells. But let's see. Boom. So why you wait? So why you just wait for shit? You know what I'm saying? Came up. Let's see if we get a liquidity sweep reversal now. And it kept running. It's still not 10 o'clock yet. Oh, now we're in this big ass 4 hour provide gap we were in yesterday. Again. I mean, do you think we'll run up to the next one? I don't like being in trades that are continuations in a big gap like this. This is technically a gap to reverse run, but also it's so big. This is a nice move. This is like my least favorable market condition, honestly. But let's see. And it wound up pushing and pushing and pushing. So that was a good day to continue to the second gap. That's why I drew the second gap, because I think we'll touch it for a target. We already hit this gap a few times, as you see over here. All right, we're not going to touch the second gap, are we? It doesn't matter. That's end of the day. All right, so this is the day. I'm trying to see, because someday it's clear. We did get a nice candle close straight through it though at 9:30, so that might have been a clear sign for buys. I've taken trades like this before. Why I didn't take this one? The liquidity points for reversing were too close. If we were already running up and there was no swing highs or lows until way up here, I would have been more confident in taking a buy right after. But these here. Yeah, but honestly, in real time, again, we're back testing. We would have gotten the charts and just saw this. We would have just saw this nice fat candle close. So maybe we would have gotten it right at 10 o'clock. Candle close, not a liquidity sweep. Maybe. Who's to say? Or we just wouldn't have traded today. But look how big the stop loss is. Let's see what the risk to reward would have been. Would it have been worth it? So you got in right at 10 o'clock. We didn't even go all the way to this candle. I mean, the second gap, like I thought we would. So maybe just the fill of the gap. I don't like that at all. Stop loss below the body if you want it. Almost a 1 to 2.7. Big fat candle close. I mean, that is a big fat candle close. Tell me I'm not lying. That's not the biggest candle you've ever seen. That's actually... So the 10 a.m. candle is always the biggest candle of the day usually, but usually sometimes when you get a fat 9 to 6 to 10 candle, sometimes you can just get in at right at buys. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe we would have took this. Maybe we would have got in because we do have a little fair value gap entry here if you want to wait for confirmation. Like maybe you weren't confident, but you drew this gap and you waited for a candle close above it and got in here. Not the best, but I mean, if you wanted to take the move, it's not terrible. If you needed to take a trade that day, if you needed it, it's there. It's there for you. Again, that's one of those things I can't explain. There are days where I just get in right at 10 o'clock because I know it's doing something. But I cannot tell you why. I mean, I can kind of tell you why. Usually it's like a nice power of 3. Like we're in a reversal. This is a continuation. That's why. Also, continuations, I don't like those. It's like we're already reversing like a strong reversal. Then that 9 a.m. candle's fat. And then the 10 a.m. candle's fat after it. But since this is a kind of continuing up slowly, I'm like, oof, is it time to reverse? But it came straight through. And that's why I always say leave your, out. Hey, I DM'd you. When you get a chance, can you look at it? I will after I'm streaming. That's why I always say look at the 4 hour because it helps you with your direction. Because sometimes you'll get on the 15-minute, you'll be like, I'm scared, I think it's going to reverse, or I want to sell it, or I want this. And then you'll see, like, actually, the 4 hour wants to go a lot higher. You can hold your trade a little longer, or you can get in for buys, or, like, you'll see, like, you can wait to see if this candle wicks down below this and out of the fair value gap. That would have been signs for sells, you know what I'm saying? So there are times, or you can just wait it out, and then your entry might have been not the start of the 10 a.m. candle, but maybe your entry was the close of the 10 a.m. candle, which is a little better than, you know, whatever. You'll see. You won't know until you get on that chart in real time. All this is hearsay, but this is just to help with your confidence and practice, you know, what you think you're going to see when you get on the charts. That's what we do this for. And that's why I do this, because when I do this every day anyway, but it's funny because I used to be so anti-backtesting, and then I did it in like, this is what, day like 50, and I got funded like last week. So it works, and it honestly helps with emotions too. You trust yourself when you backtesting like this every day, and we're missing like one trade a night. You're like, I know what I'm doing, and I do. I've only taken like 2 losses in like a month, and I'm spiraling. I'm not a good loser at all. I'm really not. That's the hardest part of trading too, being a good loser. All right, 10 a.m. This might be, oh, it's only 6:30. Dang, we're flying. Sorry, this gap should be red. Again, that's a personal preference. You can keep your gaps all gray, all yellow. I know a guy who does blue when it's regular. Like regular, doesn't matter if it's bearish or bullish, but it's not respected yet. And then once it's inverse, he turns it pink. And I'm like, good for you. But when I do red or green, I don't have to change the color, because now I know it's going to be inverse if we close above it, if it's red, and then it's going to be inverse if we close below it, if it's green. So I don't need to change the color. But to each their own. All right, what do we see? Finally, out of this gap, I think we're going to go to this high. Especially if we inverse this gap. If we come out of this gap, then we'll just take it to one of these fair value gaps on the downside. I don't think we're going all the way down to this sell side liquidity. It's just a big move. I don't think it's going to happen. So we come out, we're just taking it to the top of this. If we go up, we're taking it to that. Let's see if there's something else we can take it to. There's a liquidity point there. Let's just see. I like to mark like 3, and then I usually will always take it to the second one, the middle one, or the first one, depending on how good I feel about price action. All right. Well, inverse, so you can get in buys. Where, oof. I mean, I just feel like, are we going to this third one? I don't know. I don't like that. I like when it closes right out of the gap. It took some of our profit. So, or we can wait for this candle to close like I would usually do in real time. I'll wait, but let's just see. All right, TP1 hit, which is the target I usually like. Let's see if we go to 2. I mean, I like the second one, but sometimes I sell the first one if I'm not confident. All right, TP2 hit. Are we going to TP3? This is why you can't be scary. Scared money don't make no money. TP3. And beautiful. See what I'm saying? That's it, y'all. Just gap, liquidity. Gap, swing high, swing low. It's very simple. It really is. The hardest part is getting on the chart and doing this. Because you see how I was even scared to take that trade just off this. Because I was like, But the 4-hour candle pushed right through it, inverted it immediately. So you need to get your 1 to 2. You got your 1 to 2. That's why I draw 3. Like, say the 15-minute close way the fuck up here. Then I have to take it to the next liquidity point to get my 1 to 2. Or you can do a 1 to 1.5 that hits a lot more. But 1 to 2 hits pretty good. Market, yes, the market's not closed. The market's not closed. You trade options, that's the only time the market's closed. Everyone else in the world is still trading. But this is not trading. This is back testing. But yes, the market is in fact open. For futures, Forex, anything that's not options in the stock market. The market is not closed. It's Monday. Yesterday was Mexican Independence Day. For anyone who cares. So a lot of things are closed here during the trade. Oh shit, thank you, yes. So yes, actually they're correct. We would not be holding this. Now, if you have a live account, you could have held this. If you have a funded account, you have to be out by this time. Where my thingy is, the end of my, thank you for that, Dan. You have to be out of the trade. So actually you would have took this. This is the only option you got. But if you have a live account, you can hold trades as long as you want, which is the best part. So yes, for funded accounts, you have to make sure you be out of your trade by 5 o'clock, which is, or 5:45, because it jumps. Well, this is a 15-minute chart, but it jumps from 5:45, then 5, and then obviously next, So Sunday, Friday. Actually, you're right. Wait, Friday. No, yeah, this is Friday, and then jumps to Sunday night. So yeah, and I don't know if Ninja Trader lets you hold over the weekend. So what did we get at 10? Ooh. Yeah, then I for sure would have been out. Yeah, I would have been out at TP1, y'all. Not looking at the time. But that's why I'm trying to set and forget. So maybe TP2. Yeah, they're right. This is the whole day. The whole day is gone. And there is a gap here for the opening of Sunday. So yeah, if you're swing trading, you got all that. If you're not, we got maybe this. That's all we got. So yes, you just pay attention to the time, especially because we're back testing. Because for me, y'all know me, I do not be on the chart after 1 p.m. So, and even then, I'm about to start setting and forgetting again, and then just looking at how far we are if my TP hasn't been hit at 3 or 4. I always set an alarm in case, but usually it happens around 2 that trades play out for you. Okay, let's do another one. But yeah, this is literally all y'all need. I know trading I'm not gonna say it seems, trading is hard, but all you need to do, I'm teaching my fiance this as well, just come on this app, mark out 10 o'clock, let it play out, and then mark out where these swing highs and lows are. And it's usually in a fucking fair value gap. Mark out your swing highs and swing lows from backwards, and then go from there. Let's do one more. Next New York session. This 4-hour chart looks crazy. But yes, for those, I'm not live trading anymore. I'm focusing on making money and payouts, and then I'll be live trading again when I open my Discord. It's been fun trading with y'all. A lot of people, the chat really distracts me. And it's funny because people be yelling at me in my chat and they're so wrong, which is the funny part. And then I'm usually right, but then I let them psych me out sometimes. But in the Discord, I will be trading just like this, like how I'm back testing, and I won't be talking to y'all until after we've taken the trade. Once I'm in a trade, I'm confident in my bias. I only take a trade when I'm confident in the market structure shift or something. So even if I've lost, if I'm in a trade, I'll talk to the chat and stuff. But while I'm waiting for a setup, I'm not paying attention to y'all. I cannot anymore. Market ain't even open right now. It's not. What do you mean? The market is open right now. I'm just back testing. The market is open. What do you mean? No, people trade Asian in London session. You must trade options, Tyler. A lot of people have been in my lives trading Asian session. Maybe not for NASDAQ, but a lot of people have been saying gold. I know someone who got funded trading an Asian session on NQ actually. So yes, the movement isn't as big as New York, but the price action is honestly sometimes cleaner. But I don't trade at night, but people do. People do. I actually took a trade on backtesting session on paper trading, and it actually hit for $300 on my paper trading account right now, like on a night session like this. So I mean, you can laugh all you want. I don't trade Asian, but people do. I'm not gonna ever shit on people who trade other sessions than me. Like, that's fucking weird, but good for you, dude. People make money. They don't need whatever you need to trade. I trade 10 a.m. back testing. That's what I'm doing. I'm not live trading. Sims are awesome. Good for you. Exactly. But yes, I've seen the people. I actually saw someone on my live. Not saw them because obviously it was my live. They were in the chat, but they had made $700 on a trade in Asian session and put it in the chat. So I'm like, I also don't like that. My chat is not for you to shit on people who trade different times, different strategies than you. Just cheer people on, move on, or say okay, whatever. So far, on this day, it looks like we might want to reverse Diana. We didn't sweep this liquidity though. I would love for it to come up here first and then reverse at 10 a.m. But let's see. If not, let's mark a gap kind of lower to enter off of, because look at this big ass move, y'all. Do like this. We have this big ass move to rebalance. Like, please be serious. So if you're a fib trader, let's just do this part of the move. Target rebalance. I like the 61%. That's just me. Does it line up with anything? It does not. So boom, that's the liquidity target if we go down. Let's see. Okay, first of all, let me zoom in for us. I don't know if y'all saw those tiny ass candles. I don't know why I'm so far zoomed out. Jeez. All right, we're about to have an inverse too on the 4 hour actually. So we don't even have to double check. We can just candle close below that. We should go to this line, I hope. Or wait for a candle to bounce out of it. But so far, 10 a.m. we're pushing. Let's wait for an extra, just a little extra. You know, there's nothing wrong when you're not sure. There's nothing wrong when you're not sure. Let's wait for a candle close below the 15-minute one as well. Everyone go to Tradevate and get these exact screens and more. What are you talking about? Yes. You mean Trading View or Tradevate? Trading View, yes, it's the same. That's why they did it this way. FX Replay lets you backtest just like you would on Trading View, so it doesn't mess you up. Boom. You did get a candle close below on the 15-minute. And let's see if it rides to our... I mean, that's so far, y'all. I don't like moves that are... I don't like to get greedy and just, like, have something so far. For me, it might go down that far, but I don't want to just assume and then that's my only take profit. Like, I'd rather take my profit here. And I trade with 1 micro on my live account, so I can't just take a multiple TPs like you can when you trade 4 or 5 micros or, you know, 4 or 5 contracts. If you trade one, you need to pick one and be confident. And you don't want to pick this far one and it goes all the way down to the third one and then reverses on you. You're going to be not happy about it. So let's wait. That's why we always wait. We came and bounced into this one, and now we're pushing out. And then there also is one that was made at 9:30, this red one, that we're probably about to inverse or bounce off of. Okay. Looks like it's playing with us today. There we go. Finally got the move. Didn't sweep that liquidity, even our first one. By a tick, it did not. Alrighty, so now it's nighttime, so it doesn't even matter. Alright, let's see. Alright, no trade taken. Maybe, yeah, this is Asian session, and this is what I'm talking about. He's like, don't trade at night. That's a nice move in Asian session. It was better than anything we had in New York. So like, you can trade whenever you want. That's a nice Asian session move. It's the biggest move of the day this day, actually. Because our little shitty 4-hour candle was small. This is the first time I've actually seen this 4-hour candle that small. So yeah, we just want to take a trade today. If you want to scalp these, which on the 15-minute, still nice moves. If you trade Asian, you got a nice little run. Yeah, we just want to trade it today. That's the kind of good thing about these gaps. Just wait for it to like really push out of a fair value gap. You know, like you don't have to get in too early. You don't have to rush the process because then you'll lose money. But yeah, if that makes sense to y'all, let me know. We can do another education session tomorrow, but I'm gonna keep back testing. But yeah, no more live trading, so sorry to y'all in the morning. But I'll be back tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, back testing and doing educational things like this. If you just joined and you trade futures, we're on the December contracts for the rest of the year. That's what we're on. So let's just see what we'll do tomorrow. I don't like marking anything because I like to get on right at 10 o'clock and just see, I mean not 10 o'clock, 9:55, and just see what's about to happen. And we had a good, like we swept sell side. Like I thought we were going up to sweep these equal Asian London highs, but we did not. So yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. And yeah, have a good trading day tomorrow. You use mini or micros? For Moolah channel 4, I use micros only. Sorry, I didn't have my iPad up for the chat, but I'll type it in there. Micros only for now. That makes sense. Sorry if you left the chat already, but micros only.